The biggest game of the week is here, and that is number 13 LSU traveling to Tuscaloosa to face the number 8 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Game day is there. It's the biggest game of the week. Second time the game day has been in Tuscaloosa. Alabama comes in as a 3-point favorite in this game at home. Now, again, these lines are on Tuesday, so obviously that will change. And the over-under is 60.5, with Alabama having a 63% chance to win. Chase, you first.
All right, gentlemen. So, beginning of the season, I mentioned Alabama has 3 games circled: Texas, Tennessee, and lastly, this game, LSU. Texas won because it was close last year. They ended up losing it this year. But then Tennessee and LSU, mainly because they lost both those games last year. LSU was on a 2-point conversion in Death Valley. We got to remember that. This game is at Alabama, is at Bryant-Denny. But Alabama also had Tennessee at Bryant-Denny, and they did not show up in the first half, got down really quickly, but then they surged through the second half, won that game. Man, we just got done with the Washington USC video, right? We just talked about one Heisman candidate. Well, we got another one here for LSU. We got Jayden Daniels, who has been the entire offense for LSU, it seemed like lately. Kind of harped on them earlier on in the season, kind of like we did Oklahoma State, where, hey, this team just isn't it. They're not the same team as last year. They're not going to do what we think they're going to do. And they have surged right on through. They've really picked up the pace. They lost to Florida State, got beat up there, and then they also lost to Ole Miss. But since then, they've been putting up points like nobody's business, 49, 48, and 62, respectively. Then you got Alabama, Jalen Milroe. He's a long shot kid. Jermaine Burton has come out of nowhere, played like Julio Jones the last few weeks. And the second half team, kid had like 200 yards for 2 straight games. Like, that was crazy to me. Jermaine Burton barely had 200 yards for the last 3 years. But the defense has picked up. Kevin Steele has done a great job scheming up defenses. But Alabama hasn't played a full game yet, guys. We got to look at that. We thought they were going to put it together with the Tennessee game, but they came out really slumped in the first half, and then both offense and defense picked up in the second half. But guys, feeling it. It's a revenge game. It's in Bryant-Denny. Jalen Milroe legacy game. Nick Saban ready to return as a winner in this game. Brian Kelly coming from Baton Rouge. Malik Neighbors, Jayden Daniels. Do we care about these guys? Gentlemen, I'll say no. We're going to stand. We're going to stand on Alabama winning this game. Not by 1. What did LeBron say? Not by 2, not 3, not 4. I'm going to go with a 17-point win for Alabama. At home against the number 14 team in the college football playoffs. Alabama over LSU in Bryant-Denny, 6:45. Make sure your seats are in the chair. Make sure your butts are in the seats. Make sure you have your popcorn. Make sure you have the game on and watch those red lights roll. 38-21, Alabama. Quinn.
I do prefer my seats to be in my chair. But as far as when you look at these two teams, it's like you took one elite, guaranteed to win the national title team, split them in 2, and gave one team the offense and the other team the defense. That has been LSU and Alabama this year. LSU cannot stop a nosebleed when they're on the field defensively. Their corner play has been really bad. However, I'm not entirely convinced that Alabama has the pass pro necessary to consistently exploit that. They're going to exploit it. Everyone has. But the question is, can they exploit it to the degree they need to cover for what Jayden Daniels can do on the other side of the ball? If you remember the Tennessee game, I would say some of the best success Tennessee had offensively was when they got out with the QB scramble. Now, granted, that might not have been necessarily at the forefront of Kevin Steele's defensive game plan for Tennessee, whereas it should be. If it's not, he's crazy for the LSU game. There's not many teams that I feel confident can roll into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama when Alabama wants so badly to beat them. LSU is the one team in conference play that has proven, well, technically Ole Miss has proved it too, that they can do that very thing. I like LSU to pull the upset by 4. I feel like Alabama spots too many points in the first half to overcome an early deficit, similar to the Tennessee game. However, I feel LSU's offense is more powerful, and it makes it very difficult, borderline impossible, for Alabama to pull the comeback.
Quinn, I have to be honest here. I'm a little upset and heartbroken that you have picked against Alabama here. However, if you guys are new here to Three Bold Takes, we keep bias out of the equation whenever we pick these games. At least we try to. So I commend you for going with what you think will actually happen and not just picking your home team. However, I think you're wrong. I think Alabama does win this game. Now, again, like you mentioned, and this is key, if Bama starts slow on either side of the ball, and we've seen this, not necessarily the offense starting slow. It seems like over the past 4 or 5 games, the defense takes the first 2 series off. Like it just doesn't matter. And maybe it's because they come in with a particular game plan and then quickly realize that game plan is not what they need to be doing. So then they pivot more to in-game coaching rather than going off the game plan, which I think Bama is one of the best teams at doing. It's a tough one, man. This is a tough one. I'll be there. Three Bold Takes will be represented at this game. And I'm going to be cheering my butt off for Alabama, and I think they do get the win. However, the 3 points is such an interesting number because that's all that is a field goal. And it's such, to me, the home team is spotted 3 points by Vegas, no matter what. So with this being a 3-point spread, to me, it's a pick'em game. But I'm going to go Alabama here, and if I had to choose one bet, I would probably pick the over for Bama just because it's 3 points. I think they win by maybe 6 or 7 points. I don't think they win by 17. I don't think they win like LSU did last year on, a 2-point conversion at the end of the game and overtime. I don't know. This is going to be a fun game, though. A very, very fun game. Obviously, a lot of people agree with that because game day is going to be there. 6:45 kick, Central local time. It's going to be electric, and it's going to potentially be the game of the year in the SEC. So give me Bama to win by 6 or 7 points.